Good evening, everybody, to another episode of Live with Science DB. Today we have Sagar with us. Dinsha will be introducing him in a moment, and he will be talking about the intersections of finance and maths. So, Linsha, why don't you introduce Sagar for us?
Hello everyone. Welcome Sagar. Yeah, hi.
Hi, Sagar.
So
Hi guys.
hi Sagar. So Sagar has done his masters and bachelor's in finance. Currently is working as an associate in a UK-based debt investment banking. He has also worked in the credit side for a German bank handling the credit portfolios of highly risk companies. He has worked on various research projects involving economics, different facets of credit rating agencies. Currently, he's pursuing his CMT, that is Chartered Market Technician.
I
Linsha,
think
I think you were.
Linsha's computer has frozen. I think her network has frozen. Okay, Sagar, why don't you tell us a little bit
Okay.
more about your work? Um, you can tell us what do you do day to day and what is
Sure.
your experience like?
Thanks guys. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. So I from what little understanding I have of the audience, I think it's a largely broad audience. There's no specific stream that people are usually focusing on. So I want to keep
Right.
whatever I say largely generic. I won't delve too much into
Hmm.
technicalities because I feel that might just muddle things. I just want to focus on the concepts and why things are done rather than how they are. So,
Okay.
just to give you a brief of what I used to do. So, I currently am. So I'll start basically how and accordingly assign
I think there's an internet problem.
Sagar, there is an internet issue. Okay, we'll wait for Sagar. Linsha, you were introducing Sagar. Can you
So
continue?
okay.
Yeah,
So
you can
till
start from.
start from the beginning.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, so Sagar has done his master's and bachelor's in finance. So currently
Okay.
he's working as an associate in a UK-based debt investment banking. He has also worked in the credit side for a German bank handling credit for portfolios of high-risk companies. He has also worked on various research projects involving economics, different facets of credit rating agencies. Currently, he's pursuing his CMT, that is Chartered Market Technician. So Sagar can tell us more about his work now.
So why I'll just take this time to talk to the audience. Why we
Joe.
wanted, yeah,
I just connected using my phone. I think I'm having some network
yeah.
issues with the laptop.
Okay, I'll just remove the other one from the screen. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, Sagar.
Can you guys can hear me now, right? Or
Yeah,
is
we
it
Yeah,
can hear
right.
you.
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah,
Because at Facebook Live, I think it's still not audible yet.
I think there will be a delay. There will be a delay.
Okay.
Yeah, it will start.
Okay. Sorry.
So
Okay. So just to reiterate, I used to look at how risky companies are, the companies which banks are lending money to, and
Mm-hmm.
looking at various aspects on how they're performing and how they're expected to perform, how much money they have already taken. So
Mm-hmm.
it's basically trying to safeguard the purpose of it is trying to safeguard the money that us the retail consumers that we put into the bank is the bank then further lends is not going to extremely risky companies because
Mm-hmm.
that would sort of endanger the money that we already have put, and that's the reason we have had all these crises where companies which don't really deserve the money have been lent a lot of money and then they have not paid it back and then the taxpayer money goes into it, etc. So that was largely my role, and I used to look at slightly more highly riskier companies which are on the verge of bankruptcy or which have not been performing too well because they are slightly more complicated than say an Infosys or a TCS where things are largely stable for the last 10, 15 years.
Right.
So, so that was what I used to do. So I'll sort of expand upon this going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'll just focus on what I used to do. And now I currently work in advisory. So it's my role still is focused on looking at the credit risk of companies, like how risky you are, but it is no longer from the bank side. Like I don't really care about their credit rating because I'm not the one lending money to them. I just advise companies on how well to manage your capital so that you don't get more riskier, or how well to manage it so that you get less riskier. So now it is more of an advisory thing, as in we advise companies on how to manage your riskiness. So that's a very brief, because given that there's not much background to it and it can be a little technical, I wanted to focus on what the crux of it is.
Okay, so for the audience, I just want to tell the audience, if there are any specific questions you want to ask, you can ask either on comments, and we will definitely clarify. For the current audience that we are targeting, we are just going to be covering we are not going to be covering much in depth, but I wanted this to happen, and Nisha and I spoke about this. You know how commerce and science intersect, or as in India, they are treated as separate streams. But this year, something radical has happened. The education system has changed a little bit, at least in Maharashtra, where students are able to take some subjects in commerce and science as well, so they can do both of these subjects together. And I feel that this is great because there are some aspects of science, tech, math that intersect with finance.
So just to reiterate, so I agree with your point. So with finance, the thing is it's a little fluid. So there are some science aspects to it, in the sense that science is a highly structured field where you have the input and you can estimate the output depending on the various process. But there is a sense of subjectivity there because people are doing it. There's no rules of finance like the rules of physics. It's basically everything is man-made. So there's always that element of flexibility and fluidity where you can, to your advantage or disadvantage, probably. So for instance, I'll give you an example. Like I won't really delve too much into the financial aspect of it. So assuming you have a company called Science Didi, you are incorporated in the US. Now you have topped out the borrowing capacity. Like banks abhi bol rahe hai, we are not going to give you more money because according to your risk, I don't think you can. So now what you can do is you can incorporate another company, sort of make it a separate entity, raise money over there, and funnel that money back to your parent company. So you are getting money, but that risk is sort of divided. And this is perfectly legal. So it although sounds very shady, and companies do this with like hundreds of companies routing money here and there. And many times it can be for legitimate purposes. Like, for instance, if Vodafone at the start, it had to incorporate a alag entity in India because they had to follow the rules and regulations, and they had to borrow the money in the same currency. So uske liye you need a different company. But there are companies just for the explicit purpose of raising money can sort of fiddle around and do that, etc. Probably show, and also there are other aspects to it on how is it that like on what basis do banks give you money. So there's some subjectivity, there's a lot of flexibility and subjectivity over there. So that's why it is, although there are certain set regulations like okay day one पे तुम लोग को बोलेंगे ये करना है ये करना है ये करना है, but वो चीजों में given that मेरा human element है वो किधर भी जा सकता है depending on what happens. And this happened with the Indian credit agencies. So there were many companies who used to just go to the credit agencies and tell them कि हम लोग को ये पैसा तुम लोग ले लो to the specific person, and हम लोग को ये risk assign कर दो ताकि हमको और पैसा मिले, हमको सस्ते में पैसा मिले. So that sort of opens up, and कोई बाद में जाके उसको बोलेगा तो वो तो बोल सकता है भाई मेरे हिसाब से तो वो दिन मेरे को लगा कंपनी अच्छा करने वाला है. Now तुम उसको कैसे बोल सकते हो? Obviously there are some ways where it is grossly कि भाई इसने तो पूरा झोल ही किया है. But there is some element of subjectivity, so that sort of going off a tangent there, that's another reason I would like it if people have any questions, because there's no right or wrong here. Correct. So if you have any questions, you feel that maybe
there are no set rules, and most of the rules are changeable, or you can get around.
Yeah, they do evolve. Yeah, they do keep evolving.
Okay. So the system thinking that we have in science, it does not necessarily abide to finance. But there are some aspects of it that we can use.
Yeah. So another example I'll give you is, so when I was working earlier, so there was a specific company, which was a German company, which was rated by a credit agency at a specific level, which had given it not exactly the best positioning. So it was not getting the best. So there was one person who was analyzing the company, and उसने बोला मेरे हिसाब से इसका risk एक्स अमाउंट होना चाहिए, वो एक्स अमाउंट के बेसिस पे मेरे को वो कंपनी को शायद इतना अच्छा रेट नहीं मिलता. Now that analyst left this credit agency, he went to a newer, more up and coming credit rating agency. The same company, he gave them a risk rating of one notch above, which gave it a very good pricing. 2 महीने में कुछ चेंज नहीं हुआ है, कंपनी वही का वही है, बंदा जो कर रहा है वही का वही है, सिर्फ दूसरे कंपनी में जाके he had a different this. Now that
Right,
but
also
then-
could be, हाँ sorry,
वो डेप्ट when उन लोग ऑलरेडी डेप्ट में है,
हाँ.
so
हाँ.
how what about the risk?
So that's the thing.
वो रेटिंग कैसा हुआ?
तो रेटिंग हुआ ना, क्योंकि देख हर एक क्रेडिट एजेंसी का खुद का रेटिंग होता है. दे हैव देयर ओन मेथोडोलॉजी ऑफ गोइंग अबाउट इट. सो
Okay.
इट कुड बी दैट द सेम कंपनी विद 2 एजेंसीज might have different रेटिंग, क्योंकि वो लोग थोड़ा ज्यादा पेनलाइज करते हैं, थोड़ा ज्यादा कंजर्वेटिव हैं, whereas दूसरे लोग थोड़ा बिजनेस लाने के लिए मे बी लुक अनदर वे, और मे बी दे आर मोर कॉन्फिडेंट इन दैट सेक्टर और समथिंग लाइक दैट.
So,
Now-
Nisha, I'll give you an analogy of environmental toxicology. So, this is something that is very similar to that. Standards are set around the world by people, and
Yeah.
Europe may be following some standard that you can have so much sulfur in your environment, and US
Yeah,
will be
yeah, right.
following some other standard. So similarly, it is actually decided by the people who are working within that system or corporation. What is the standard for this particular credit rating? So before we delve into this, why don't we go back now and
Yeah.
take it through the simpler questions? Why don't you ask the questions that you have, Linsha?
Yeah. So the first simple question. So most of people are familiar with the accounting aspect of finance. So can you
Yeah.
tell more about accounts?
Sure,
How
sure.
it works? Yeah.
So why do we have accounts? Like accounts are highly boring. Like it's very boring, okay? Because it's like तुमको law के हिसाब से सब करना पड़ता है. मैं I completely empathize with you guys. So I'm not going to delve into the technicalities, but I want to तुम करते क्यों accounts? Like why do you do accounts in the first place? Now the reason for that is twofold. The first one is for your own purpose. Because you're a company, तुम दिन में 10,000 ट्रांजैक्शन करते हो, तुम दिन में 20,000 लोग को पैसा देते हो, 20,000 लोग से पैसा लेते हो. अभी तुमको कुछ तो रिकॉर्ड चाहिए ना उसका, कि तुम्हारा पैसा किधर से कमा रहे हो, किधर जा रहा है, किधर अकाउंट हो रहा है. सो इन द वे इट कम्स ऑन द वर्ड ऑफ अकाउंटेबिलिटी. यू नीड टू बी अकाउंटेबल फॉर योर ओन पीपल ना, कि यार ओनर को अकाउंटेबिलिटी चाहिए, एम्प्लॉयज को अकाउंटेबिलिटी चाहिए. सो इट प्रोवाइड्स अ रिकॉर्ड फॉर वेयर योर मनी इज गोइंग, हाउ आर यू अर्निंग इट, हाउ मच investments are you doing, कि तुम ज्यादा घपला तो नहीं कर रहे हो, for your own benefit. Now the other aspect is from the government point of view, because it is regulated, क्योंकि तुमको पैसा गवर्नमेंट को देना है टैक्स पे. अभी वो टैक्स कैसे डिसाइड होता है, उसका एक स्टेट प्रोसीजर होना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर तुम कंपनी को बोलोगे तुम अपने हिसाब से टैक्स दो, तो फिर वो बंदा बोलेगा कि भाई मैंने जो मशीनरी खरीदा वो भी मैं अपना एक्सपेंस डाल दूंगा, सब कुछ एक्सपेंस डाल दूंगा, मैं 20 साल का भी टैक्स ही नहीं भरूंगा. Now the government has to say, भाई नहीं तो ये नहीं कर सकता है, you cannot reduce this to sort of avoid tax. So they have certain rules and regulations which everybody has to follow. Like हम लोग को भी करना पड़ता है as a ITR form 1, 2, 3 जो करना पड़ता है, same thing. Now I want to focus slightly on like accounts में सबको पता है balance sheet होता है, profit and loss होता है, but I slightly want to, given that it's a slightly broader audience, I want to focus on the basics के बनता क्यों और flow कैसा होता है. Now, every company ideally has 3 financial statements that they prepare. The first one is the income statement, the second one is the cash flow statement, and third one is balance sheet. So, पहले दो का जो है, it is very self-explanatory in the name, income statement. तो तुमको क्या लगता है? What do you think income statement will show? It will basically show your income.
Whatever is the income.
Exactly. Now the thing comes. इनकम में क्या आता है, इज इट, अगर समझ ले मैं बोइंग एयरबस हूँ, मेरे को जेट या गो एयर को फ्लाइट वो देना है, एयरप्लेन डिलीवर करना है. अभी हजारों करोड़ के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होते हैं, मैंने आज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन किया है, बट वो डिलीवर होने में 2 साल जाएगा. नाउ एट द एंड ऑफ द डे मेरे को ये साल ऑल्दो मेरा सेल हो गया है, बट मेरे को रोकड़ा नहीं आया, मेरे को पैसा नहीं आया, एक्चुअल हार्ड कैश नहीं आया. तो इनकम स्टेटमेंट सिमिलरली मेरा सप्लायर जो है, मैं उसको जैसे ही मैं लेता हूँ, ये नहीं ऐसा गड्ढा सूटकेस भर के कैश नहीं देता हूँ, ये लाइक 20,000 करोड़ बाद में लाइक जस्ट और टेकन गोल्ड बार्स और समथिंग लाइक दैट. इट इज लार्जली ऑन क्रेडिट. So So that basically shows कि तुम्हारा जो एक साल में जो भी transactions हुआ है, that may or may not in terms of cash state, in terms of रोकड़ा be actually shown, but at the same time तुमने business किया हुआ है, वो तुमने वो सेल कर दिया है, वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन हो गया, तुमको पैसा आना है वो कभी. सो इनकम स्टेटमेंट बेसिकली मेरे को दिखाता है पूरा मैंने क्या पैसा लिया है, क्या पैसा दिया है, क्या मैंने अर्न किया है, मैंने जो पैसा बोरो किया है उस पर क्या इंटरेस्ट दिया है, XYZ. देयर आर मेनी aspects to it. If you guys want, I can, after this, probably if the screen sharing works, I can just go through company like Tesla, which is slightly in the news now, so that, and गाड़ी है तो लोग को थोड़ा सा relatability भी होगा instead of a very complicated service or something like that. So income statement basically shows me कि मैंने कितना सेल्स किया है ये साल और मेरा कितना खर्चा हुआ है सेल्स करने में. फिर मेरे को नेट प्रॉफिट आता है, मेरा प्रॉफिट जो कंपनीज बोलते हैं प्रॉफिट बना है इतना. अभी ये प्रॉफिट फ्लो होता है मेरे कैश फ्लो में. दिस इज द सेकंड स्टेटमेंट. अभी जैसे मैंने पहले बोला था सब कुछ कैश में नहीं होता है, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे एज अ कंपनी मेरे को जानना है मेरा रोकड़ा किधर है. ऐसा नहीं हो कि मैंने 20,000 करोड़ का सेल किया बट बैंक में मेरा 1 करोड़ है क्योंकि वो 10 साल बाद आने वाला है. दैट इज अगेन अ ग्रोस misrepresentation of my actual business, right? I mean, it could happen depending on your company. It's a very exaggerated example, but I mean something along those lines. So that in the cash flow statement we just adjust for the cash items. कि अगर मैंने कुछ सेल किया बट एक्चुअली मेरे को पैसा नहीं आया तो मैं उसको रिड्यूस कर दूंगा. सिमिलरली मैंने कुछ खर्चा किया बट पैसा नहीं दिया तो मैं उसको भी ऐड कर दूंगा ताकि मेरा कैश एक्चुअल कितना है. देन आई विल लुक एट बाकी चीजें जो मेरे P&L में नहीं आती है, जो मेरा इन्वेस्टमेंट्स है. जैसे मैं मशीनरी खरीद रहा हूँ. हाँ, अनदर वन थिंग आई फॉरगॉट. सो P&L इज बेसिकली माय स्टेटमेंट ऑफ ऑपरेशंस. जो मेरा कंपनी जो धंधा करता है, कोर धंधा करता है, उस पर ही फोकस रहेगा. उसके अलावा जो चीजें मैंने मशीनरी खरीदा, मैंने लोन लिया, वो सब उसमें नहीं आएगा बिकॉज वो मेरे धंधे से रिलेटेड नहीं है डायरेक्टली. वो मेरे प्रोडक्ट बनाने इनडायरेक्टली है, वो इनडायरेक्टली सब रहता है बट डायरेक्टली नहीं है. तो कैश फ्लो में बाकी सब चीजें आती है. जैसे मैंने मशीनरी खरीदा है, मैंने पैसा रीपे किया है, मैंने पैसा बोरो किया है, क्योंकि उसमें एक्चुअल कैश जा रहा है कि मैंने मशीनरी का ऑर्डर 3 साल पहले दिया रहेगा बट ये साल मेरा पैसा निकल रहा है. तो इट इज टू शो इन्वेस्टर्स के भाई ऑल्दो द कंपनी में बी डूइंग वेल, यू नीड टू फोकस ऑन द कैश ऑल्सो. कि एक्चुअल कैश क्या है. अगर समझ ले कल कंपनी बैंकरप्ट हो तो तुम लोग मेरे को पैसा दे सकते हो क्या. सो दिस वी कम टू द कैश पोजिशन. अभी उसके बाद इज द बैलेंस शीट. नाउ दिस इज समथिंग ऑफ, आई थिंक दिस इज द मोस्ट कॉमन प्रॉब्ली फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट दैट पीपल हैव हर्ड ऑफ, बैलेंस शीट. अभी बैलेंस शीट में क्या होता है, जैसे योगिता समझ ले तेरा साइंस दीदी का कंपनी है, ठीक है. After a few years, hopefully it gets bigger and you acquire like an office, you acquire machinery, you have computers, you have staff, you have many things. And at the same time you have borrowed money, तुमने खुद का भी पैसा डाला है. So all those things you need to show somewhere because those have happened over a period of many years and they are not related to your business. And you need to show somebody कि भाई मेरा इतना asset है, इतना liability. So a balance sheet is basically a statement of showing what I owe to people and what I own. So मेरे बुक्स में मेरे नाम पे क्या चीजें हैं और जो चीजें मेरे को लोगों को क्या देनी है. So this is what a balance sheet is, and it is divided into assets and liabilities. Assets is what I own and liabilities is what I owe. तो assets में जैसे साइंस दीदी का आएगा कि मैंने समझ ले तूने कहीं ऑफिस खरीद लिया तो वो ऑफिस का एसेट का वैल्यू रहेगा. मैंने ऑफिस का कुछ तो वैल्यू है, मेरे पीसी का कुछ तो वैल्यू है, मैंने किसी को पैसा दिया है वो आना है, वो भी कुछ वैल्यू है क्योंकि इट इज एन एसेट फॉर मी. It is not come yet, but it is something that I own.
Products in storage.
Exactly. So and liabilities would be कि मैंने किससे पैसा लिया है, या फिर इवन liabilities में ये भी आता है जैसे योगिता तुमने साइंस दीदी को कंपनी बनाया तो साइंस दीदी in effect becomes a different entity. So it is no longer you. So अगर तुमने साइंस दीदी में पैसा डाला है, it basically means साइंस दीदी owes you money because it's a separate person. But at the same time, you have purchased that. It is your own company, so that comes under equity. We'll go into that later. So basically, such things comes under your assets and liabilities.
Okay.
So this is the reason for this is to show government, to show investors, to show companies to have accountability कि मेरा पैसा कैसा मैंने किया है, actual cash कितना बचा है और मेरा अभी as of date कितना मेरे पास कितने assets है और कितना मैं पैसा owe करता हूँ. So this is the basic reasoning for preparing the accounts. So you have like tens of thousands of entries for different companies. I won't go into that, but we should at least know कि क्यों करते हैं. लाइक अकाउंट्स बना है, ठीक है, कंपनीज पागल नहीं है कि वो लोग इतना टाइम और मनी वेस्ट करे जस्ट टू मेक अ फ्यू पीसेस ऑफ पेपर. दे हैव सम सिग्निफिकेंस because those few pieces of paper, they show the thousands of crores or hundreds of crores of transactions that have taken over a period. And if you manipulate them, then that's a big issue because then you are grossly, अगर समझ ले एक जीरो भी ऊपर हो गया, ऊपर नीचे हो गया, तो बैंक वाला जो तुमको पैसा दे रहा है उसका डिसीजन भी उस पर इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है. सो दैट्स व्हाई, एंड वो बैंक वाला पैसा तुम लोग का ही दे रहा है पैसा, हम लोग का ही टैक्स पेयर का ही पैसा है अगर पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक है. और अगर प्राइवेट सेक्टर भी है तो आजकल गवर्नमेंट तो आ ही जाता है पैसा देने. So it, in effect, we are in each case we need to know, right? Because at the end of it, it's hard-earned money.
Yeah.
So that's why at least you should know कि companies क्यों ऐसा कर रहा है और क्या है. Maybe if somebody is interested in details, they can either reach out to me or Google on their own or whatever is comfortable for them. But this is, I feel everybody should at least know, even for their personal this कि मैं कंपनी में काम करता हूँ तो भाई मैं उनके लिए टाइम और एफर्ट डाल रहा हूँ. आई शुड नो वेयर दैट मनी इज गोइंग. आई शुड बी अकाउंटेबल. लाइक विद सत्यम, दे हैड मेड 100 डमी अकाउंट्स एंड उसको पैसा देते देके दूसरे कंपनी में रूट करता था. सो एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वो हाँ.
So that's how those scams are happening. That we are seeing at a large scale now.
Exactly. And things have become very complicated now because पहले क्या होता था, समझ ले मेरे को बैंक से लोन लेना है तो अभी मैं उनको बोलूंगा मेरा ये मशीनरी है, तुम मेरे को इतना पैसा दे दो. अभी क्या होता है, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ योर ब्रांड ऑल्सो यू कैन टेक मनी. अभी ब्रांड में क्या है, तुम हाउ डू एस्टिमेट इस ब्रांड इज कि मेरे को अगले XYZ ईयर्स में कितना पैसा आने वाला है, उसको मैं अकाउंट करके एडजस्ट करके ब्रांड का पैसा डालता हूँ. नाउ दैट इज सब्जेक्टिव. मेरे हिसाब से ब्रांड बहुत करने वाला है या बहुत वो करने वाला है. सो दैट देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ स्कोप फॉर फजिंग हियर एंड देयर, ऑल्दो इट हैपेंस मोर in smaller companies, but in bigger companies when it happens it's like huge. So this, if you guys have any questions on accounts, like any specific questions or even any conceptual questions, you guys can please.
No, not as of now, but I will leave this to the audience. If they want to ask
please,
questions on accounts, they can ask us. Okay, let's move on to the next question then. Linsha.
Okay, so can you talk about market, like finance in market?
Yes.
What are capital market?
No, keep the financial market, financial and capital aside. What is a market? What do you guys feel like? What is a market?
So is it like DMart where you can go
The
and
share
buy
market.
No, but that's not a market. That's a store.
store? Okay, so
That's not a market.
what comes to mind is like Aladdin's, those old cartoons where they show a lot of.
अरे
भाजी
नहीं भाई, तू भाजी मार्केट जाती है, मच्छी मार्केट जाती है, वो भी मार्केट ही है ना.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Market
what
है
is
वो.
Exchange of goods.
Yeah, wherever there is.
नहीं, market is a platform. So everywhere you go, market is a platform. So वो भाजी market itself is a platform, but the participants are the buyers and sellers. So any market has the same concept कि it is a platform. So Sensex is a platform. अभी उधर आके लोग खरीदते बेचते हैं. They are the भाजीवालास and the people buying. Now there the concept is different, but largely every market is the same कि कोई खरीद रहा है, कोई बेच रहा है.
Okay.
Now here what is being bought and sold is ironically money.
Okay.
So
Money
capital, yeah, in a conceptual way, not exactly hard cash is being bought and sold, but capital market is a platform for companies to go and raise money.
Okay.
And in lieu of raising that money, they will give some additional returns to the people who are giving you the money. So this can largely happen in two ways. It could happen either, samajh le, I'll take your example of Science Didi again. Assuming going forward you need to expand, you need to bring an office, something or the other. You need money, right? Now you may not have the money on your own, but you need it from somewhere. So ideally, logically, you can do two things. Either you can come to me, you can come to Prachi, you can come to any person and say कि please मेरे को loan दे दे, मैं तेरे को थोड़े साल में चुका दूंगी. That is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is like how at the start you guys suggested that I invest money in you and you give me some stock. That is called the equity.
Right.
Although I wish I had that much money, although I still won't give you. I will spend it on myself now. But that's the concept.
Like a loan. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, so in a stock market तुम पैसा दे रहे हो, उसके लिeu में तुमको कंपनी का एक छोटा पोर्शन मिल रहा है। जहाँ के तुम पैसा बोरो कर पैसा लेंड कर रहे हो, उसमें तुमको रिटर्न मिलेगा ब्याज या इंटरेस्ट के फॉर्म में, जैसे तुम्हारा पर्सनल लोन का इंटरेस्ट होता है एग्जैक्ट। तो उस दोनों चीजों में थोड़ा सा फर्क है। नाउ I'll take another company because this example will be slightly dark. समझ ले एक कंपनी ने बोरो भी किया है और इक्विटी भी बेचा और वो कंपनी बंद हो गया। ठीक है, मैंने इसलिए साइंस दीदी ने बोला, फिर गाली खाऊंगा मैं। तो कंपनी बंद हो गया। तो अभी कंपनी पहले क्या करेगा, लॉजिकली पहला अपना जो बैंक से लोन लिया है उसको पहले चुकाना पड़ेगा, राइट? दैट इज क्योंकि बैंक से लोन तुमने कुछ एसेट कोलेटरल देके दिया रहेगा, तो बैंक या तो वो कब्जा करेगा या तो वो पैसा लेगा। अभी ये और तुमको एम्प्लॉयज को देना पड़ेगा, तुमको और तुम्हारे सप्लायर्स को देना पड़ेगा। वो सब खत्म होने के बाद तुम्हारा जो बचेगा वो फिर ओनर को जाएगा। So in terms of a bankruptcy, the dead person will get his money first, and later on the person who owns the money will get the company will get the money last. Now this is the downside to it. Now the upside would be, समझ ले साइंस दीदी, I am coming back to साइंस दीदी के पॉजिटिव है अभी, तो समझ ले साइंस दीदी बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है। तो नाउ जिससे तूने बोरो किया पैसा, तो उसको जो इंटरेस्ट अग्री किया था उतना ही देने वाली है, तेरा कंपनी जितना भी अच्छा करे। समझ ले earning thousands of crores, but you still give them that 5-10% which you have agreed to, because that is the contract. But assuming I had fortunately invested in your company, समझ ले मैंने 1 करोड़ तभी डाला था, बट तूने बहुत अच्छा किया, तो वो मेरा 1 करोड़ का वैल्यू 20 करोड़ हो जाएगा, क्योंकि मेरा ग्रोथ तेरे कंपनी के साथ होगा।
Okay, समझा। Right.
So the primary difference in your two main capital markets, debt and equity, is first the risk. So your debt is very less risky, क्योंकि तुम पैसा बोरो कर रहे हो और तुम पैसा लेंड कर रहे हो, तुमको फिक्स्ड रिटर्न मिल रहा है, तो तुमको रिस्क भी कम है। जबकि इक्विटी में तो यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग, यू आर बेटिंग ऑन दैट पर्सन कि दिस पर्सन इज गोइंग टू डू अमेजिंग, इसलिए मैं पैसा डाल रहा हूँ या डाल रही। So there the positive could be limitless, the negatives also could be, you could be wiped out.
Yeah, I
So
get
now-
it. Basically,
now
in depth, whatever you give, you are going to get it back. No
Anyhow,
question. There are laws around it.
higher probability,
Yeah,
higher probability.
right. So
But
is
now-
there a possibility that somebody can't get their money back?
Yeah, of course, because समझ ले, I'll get to that after I tell you this. Now, अभी if as a person, why would I invest in equity? मैं तो बोलूँगा भाई रिस्क है। So in finance, one of the main core concepts is risk reward. Like the riskier your investment is, the more reward you should get. Like logically, भाई मेरा रिस्क ज्यादा है तो मेरे को ज्यादा पैसा चाहिए, अगर मेरे को पता है इतना ही मिलेगा तो कम मिलेगा। So that's the logic for bank FD also, कि तुम FD में डाल रहे हो, तुमको पता है पैसा उतना ही रहेगा, बट तुमको 6-7% मिलेगा। तुम मार्केट में डालते हो तो यू हैव अ चांस कि बहुत भी बढ़ सकता है और बहुत भी घट सकता है। So with any asset or any investment, you have to look at your risk, even when you are making a personal investment. कोई लोग आके तुमको बोलेगा अरे लो रिस्क है हाई रिवॉर्ड है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है। क्यों होता है? तो खुद का पैसा क्यों नहीं डालता है? लाइक आई गेट दीज कॉल्स फ्रॉम दीज पीपल, समटाइम्स के सर बहुत अच्छा टिप है, पैसा डालो। तो मेरे दोस्त ने एक बोला ठीक है सर, आपको पता है पक्का है तो आप मेरे को पैसा लोन करो, मैं डाल दूंगा, हम दोनों आधा आधा कर देंगे। वो बंदे ने फोन काट दिया। लाइक अगर तुम्हारा इतना शॉर्ट है तो तुम ही पैसा डालो ना फिर।
Correct.
So largely, if you are doing something riskier, you should be compensated for it. If you are not being risky, then you won't be compensated as much for it. So that concept will flow on later. But these are the two main ways you can do debt. And so India में क्या है ना, debt markets are not exactly very mature. Like अभी नया field है. It is largely unorganized. Like पहले money lenders होते थे या small and medium scale industries पे होते थे. तो अपना वो सेक्टर अभी थोड़ा ग्रो कर रहा है, इसलिए probably we are seeing a lot of scams because things are not as regulated, as clear cut, rules are not fully fleshed out. So once that happens, probably we'll have a better understanding. But from an international perspective, that's the difference between a debt and capital market. It is just that equity market is more liquid because it is riskier and people buy and sell more. तो उसमें ऊपर नीचे ज्यादा होता है. So that's like a very basic overview of the capital markets. If you have any slightly more pointed questions, you can feel free to ask me.
I think I understand. So yeah, what I'm getting out of this is, so can you tell me a little bit about the history of this debt market and when this started,
Debt
considering that
market is
so many
considering.
scams have happened. Yeah, so many scams have
See,
happened.
that's what I'm saying. Debt market क्या होता है? Don't take it too formally. A money lender giving you money is also a debt market
Debt market.
because
Okay.
it's a market where there are a buyer and a seller. The buyer
Yeah.
is the person requiring money. The seller is the person offering the money for a certain fee. And there's a platform. So that is also a debt market. So वैसे देखो debt market has existed since money has existed because lending has existed since money has existed.
Correct.
Now the equity market that started in like I think the 16th or 17th century in Netherlands, and अपना प्यारा East India Company was the first listed company.
Okay.
So that concept started there.
Used to give equity in for the shipments that used to happen, right?
हाँ, I see. मेरे को इतना specifically याद नहीं है, but I just know it's the first listed company. And basically, what happened was, after a point, you cannot borrow any money, right? Like, तुम कितना borrow करोगे? But you still feel कि मेरे business में बहुत faith है, I need more money. So you decide to sell off some of your company, basically. Like even a partnership, in a very roundabout, in a very crude way, can be called an equity market because you are purchasing some equity from the other person and you're parting in the risk and risk. It's just equity market that one person is lakhs and crores of people. And they get certain returns in different ways. So you are basically partners, but because you have like 0.001% of the company, you can't do anything about it.
So-
Only the people who probably have, sorry.
So virtually, how much of your company could you give up as equity? Like 100%. Like if tomorrow, can it be so that I can give up 100% of my company as equity? You know, in this
So-
sense.
So if you want to enter the equity markets, there are certain requirements for that. Like you need to have a certain track record of making profits. Like पिछले 3-4 साल में you have to show some profit. So ऐसा नहीं है कोई भी उठ के जाके बोल सकता है. Like as a informal thing कर सकते हो. जैसे आजकल स्टार्टअप्स करते हैं, वेंचर कैपिटल करते हैं. जैसे जोगिता, अगर तू मेरे पास आके बोली कि मेरे को थोड़ा 10% देना है, मेरे को एक्स अमाउंट दे, तो हम लोग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन करके कर सकते हैं. That is also equity market. But the equity market which we are familiar with, Sensex, Nifty, those because there are public and it is like a entity which is it is a regulated entity. क्योंकि उधर कुछ घपला हो गया तो उनपे नाम आएगा. अगर हम दोनों के बीच में घपला हुआ तो कुछ बोल नहीं सकती कि तूने मेरे साथ ही कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किया है. उधर the intermediary is there. So there you can go there and you can do 100%, but it is not advisable because then your loss of control हो जाता है. So समझ ले समझ ले मैंने 100% सबको ऐसा दो शेयर 3 शेयर पूरे देश को बेच दिया. ठीक है, सबको बेच दिया. नाउ इफ 1% डिसाइड्स कि मेरे को ये कंपनी में कुछ करना है, दे कैन परचेज लाइक 50% ऑफ माय शेयर्स एंड डू व्हाटएवर दे वांट विद द कंपनी बिकॉज इफेक्टिवली दे आर ओनर्स ऑफ द कंपनी.
Correct.
Now there are requirements for that also. You have to notify SEBI and everything if you do above a certain percentage, but it is possible. And also, if you have a larger number of people who you have given money to, taken money from and given them shares, on each share you have to give them a dividend also, right?
Yeah.
And as we discussed earlier, equity is more expensive than debt. तो मेरे को पैसा भी ज्यादा देना पड़ेगा भाई, क्योंकि मेरे अगर मैं ज्यादा डेट लेता हूँ तो मेरा पैसा कम देना पड़ेगा. And I have more money for my own company to invest and grow. So it's a very company to company decision. But largely people, depending on the industry, have a optimal mix के 70-30, 50-50 जो भी etc. क्योंकि कोई इंडस्ट्रीज में बहुत लॉन्ग टर्म प्रोजेक्ट्स होते हैं तो उसमें थोड़ा डेट ज्यादा चाहिए होता है. बट एट द सेम टाइम बैंक देते हैं क्योंकि दे नो इट्स लॉन्ग टर्म एंड दे नो एक बार ये चालू हो गया तो जिंदगी भर पैसा आएगा अपने को. सो इट्स वेरी इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक थिंग. देयर इज नो राइट आंसर टू इट.
Okay, Linsha, you can ask the next question.
Okay, so since you have worked in credit, so can you tell us about credit ratings and how they are being done?
Yeah. So now, so like how I told you, India में market इतना mature नहीं है, but सब जगह है. So like how there are certain requirements to come to Sensex also. Even for debt, you have to have certain requirements to raise money. Now those requirements, there are XYZ other requirements. One of the requirements is the credit rating. Now, what is a credit rating? Is basically it's a subjective analysis that I am doing. The rating the agency is doing, although I'm not the agency, but a certain agency like you have CRISIL, you have CARE, you have Mera, you have Brickwork, like there are a lot of agencies which do that. So वो लोग क्या बोलते हैं कि मेरे हिसाब से ये कंपनी का रिस्क असेसमेंट ऑन अ स्केल 1 to 10 फॉर सिंप्लिसिटी स्टेक है, 1 being the least risky and 10 being the most risky. And they are sort of authorized by the government or they have their licensing etc. Those are technicality. But they basically give the stamp कि भाई मेरे हिसाब से ये कंपनी का रिस्क 1 या है या 5 या है या 10 है. Now the investors know कि भाई ये किसी ने कंपनी देखा हुआ है, इसका रिस्क पता है. तो डिपेंडिंग ऑन दैट स्कोर ऑफ 1 to 10 द सेम रिस्क रिवॉर्ड रेशियो कम्स कि जितना मेरा कम रिस्क की कंपनी है उसमें ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा कंपनी को, whereas अगर बहुत ही फालतू कंपनी है उसको ज्यादा महंगा पड़ेगा टू रेज डेट. So credit rating agencies basically on a scale they assign your risk depending on how your business is going to do. कि तुमको क्या लगता है कि लाइक तुम लोगों को लगता है कि अगर मैं क्रेडिट रेटिंग एनालिस्ट हूँ मैं अच्छा रेटिंग दूंगा कोई रेस्टोरेंट इंडस्ट्री रेस्टोरेंट कंपनी को इन दिस करंट सिचुएशन. Does it make any sense for me to do that? Like even if I do, I'll probably charge them a very high rate, right? Because I know restaurants are not, or tourism, sorry, not even restaurants. Tourism is completely is going to be in a bad state for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So that is my subjective analysis. So that will come into my ratings also. And I'll also look at the company. I'll look at like how the 3 statements I mentioned earlier. I'll look at how much money they have borrowed. So we look at certain things called metrics, credit metrics. So इसमें क्या होता है, like the most basic thing is कि तुमने कितना पैसा उठाया है versus तुम कितना पैसा कमा रहे हो. So this is the one of the most basic ratios that we use. So assuming like Science Didi, for example, just for simplicity's sake, you have like you earn 100 crores a year, okay, but at the same you're doing great, amazing, but at the same time you have taken you have taken a loan of 2,000 crores.
Right.
So basically your ratio would be 20 times. Basically तुमने 100 कमाया तो तुमने 2,000 अपने बुक्स पे लिया, which is unsustainable because तुमको उसका इंटरेस्ट भी देना है, तुमको कभी तो रीपे करना है ना. So we look at those things also. Then we look at the business aspect, country कैसा है, like तुम्हारा अगर समझ ले कंपनी बाप है, एकदम बाप कंपनी है, but कंपनी हेडक्वार्टर्स ईरान इराक में है, तो फिर like it sort of get that
पॉलिटिकल डिस्टर्बेंस वहाँ पे बिजनेस नहीं होगा.
एग्जैक्टली. एंड प्लस अगर कंपनी समझ ले बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है बट उसका इंडस्ट्री बहुत बहुत बेकार है, जैसे एक कंपनी आउटलायर है कोई बहुत, जैसे बीच में तेल जो इंटरनेशनल प्राइसेस ऑफ क्रूड ऑयल वेंट डाउन लाइक क्रेजी, so there might have been certain companies which are not as affected, but still the fact that your industry is in a turmoil will also come into that. So you have to look at the industry, you have to look at the country, you have to look at the company, you have to assess कैसा करने वाला है over the next few years. Then you have to look at the financials, and combining all this and other factors that we get into, you get a credit rating. So ideally the scale starts from a AAA, goes down. You don't want to get too much into that. So depending on the scale you got in, the market will then decide. समझ ले AAA rated company है तो मैं उसको market उसको बोलेगा मैं तेरे को 2% में पैसा देता हूँ. So you borrow money from me, you just have to pay 2% interest. Whereas a company which is a BBB company might have to pay 4 or 5% because it's slightly more riskier. It has a more chance of defaulting. So that's how it largely is credit rating. There are more complications like how I mentioned that companies basically sort of opening up a new subsidiary, raising money there. तो उसमें फिर तुम्हारा बहुत सारी अलग चीजें आ जाती है, लिंकेज आ जाता है, तुम्हारा सबऑर्डिनेशन आता है. तो ऑल दोस देयर आर कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज, बट लार्जली द क्रक्स इज कि कंपनी कितना रिस्की है, क्या चांस है इसका डूबने का, उसके हिसाब से मैं उसको स्कोर देगा.
ओके.
फिर इंडिविजुअल के एस्पेक्ट से
इंडिविजुअल में अलग हो जाता है, क्योंकि इंडिविजुअल में क्या है ना, एक तो कंपनी का क्या है कि एक कंपनी पे मैं एक बंदा काम कर सकता हूँ. अभी जोगिता ने या तूने पैसा लिया है उसके लिए 1% असाइन नहीं करेगा ना, क्योंकि फिर पूरा मेरा जितना कस्टमर है उतना मेरा लोग चेक करने के लिए चाहिए थे अकाउंट्स. सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ पर्सनल थिंग इट इज लार्जली मोर डेटा बेस्ड. तो वो लोग पूरा डेटा लेके रिस्क लेके, इट इज मोर मैकेनिकल, क्योंकि द कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी इज ऑल्सो वेरी लो. There are only a certain number of transactions and certain number of things that individual can do. Like कितना ही करोगे एज अ नॉर्मल इंडिविजुअल, तुम क्रेडिट कार्ड होगा तुम्हारे पास, नॉर्मल होम लोन होगा, ये होगा वो होगा, 3-4 टिक मार्क होंगे. उस बेसिस पे तुमने डिपेंडिंग ऑन हाउ मच यू अर्न, डिपेंडिंग ऑन how much loan you have taken, depending on how well you have repaid it, how fast you have repaid it, have you missed any payments. तो वो पर्सनल लोन पर्सनल क्रेडिट रिस्क में आ जाता है, which honestly I am not somewhat of an expert कि मैंने काम नहीं किया, but as normal finance person के सिबिल स्कोरिंग आता है, so उस स्कोरिंग के बेसिस पे sorry
basically as a person, how much I'm spending in the economy, how much I'm taking, and what is the rate at which I am returning that money. That all of
Yeah.
those things contribute to my personal credit rating.
हाँ, so main they look at is तुमने so to have a CIBIL account you need to first have at least taken some credit. Now credit means either credit card पे खर्चा किया है या लोन लिया है, कुछ तो खाता खोलना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो ब्लैंक स्लेट है तो फिर वो लोग बोलेंगे आई डोंट नो हाउ द प्रोसीजर इज इफ यू आर अ ब्लैंक स्लेट, बट मोस्ट पीपल लार्जली हैव सम हिस्ट्री. So depending on how much money you have taken, how much you earn, how often have you paid it back, how much have you spent over the last 2 months. So economy का इतना नहीं होता है उसमें. People don't care whether you're contributing to the economy because you might have spent it on something which is not really adding to the economy, like just like for your own benefit. But it is just personally how much money have you taken and personally how well have you been at repaying it. So if you have done it very like पिछले 10 साल से तुमने हर साल क्रेडिट कार्ड तुम्हारा 10-20 लाख खर्चा है, बट तुमने एकदम टाइम टू टाइम कर दिया, तो बैंक और कंफर्टेबल कि भाई ये बंदे को पैसा देंगे तो आ जाएगा. तो उस बेसिस पे तुम्हारा बाद में फर्दर लोन्स भी तुम्हारा सस्ता होगा या महंगा होगा. Whereas if somebody is there with multiple missed payments, जिसने रिपे नहीं किया है, डिफॉल्ट किया है, तो बैंक को इधर रिफ्यूज की बोलेगा भाई मेरे पैसे के साथ भी कर सकता है तू, या तो they'll give them कि ठीक है तू ले ले बट तू मेरे को दुगना दे इंटरेस्ट, क्योंकि टू कंपनसेट फॉर दैट रिस्क. अगर मेरा गया तो भी एटलीस्ट आई एम मेकिंग सम मनी ऑफ इट.
Okay. Yeah. So Linshan, any more questions from your end?
No, that's it.
Okay. So doesn't look like our audience has any more questions, but I would recommend that if you all have any questions, you can ask Sagar even now or even later. You can hit him up on Facebook or ask questions. Yeah. So and especially for our commerce students who we have been working with, if there are any specific questions, we can arrange for another session with Sagar. So Sagar, thanks for joining us today. I have understood. Yeah, so we have understood that there is a lot of data and math involved within finance, and just like we have.
That's the thing. That's the thing. There is not as much as data and math involved as you guys think. There is सब में होता है, but इसमें you need to know how to manipulate that data and math to get it. So it's more like there's not too much number crunching, but at the same time you need to know how to show the number in a way which is beneficial to you. और टू ट्राई एंड फाइंड आउट कि ये नंबर उसने दिखाया बट इसके एक्चुअली असलियत क्या है. सो एक्चुअली मेरे में मैथ्स में इतना मैं so I don't do too much math. Like I just do like in terms of mathematical operations, the most I do is calculations, is addition, subtraction. That's it. There's no sine, cos, there's no geometry, there's no advanced mathematics there. But at the same time, you need to be very comfortable with numbers because you need to know how they flow. So that way, yes, it can be a little subjective.
More of an applicative thing. I think what we call is simulating and modeling. Basically, taking in all the inputs and trying to predict what is going to happen. And that aspect, this is very much like science. Kind of science that we do nowadays is a lot of simulation and modeling. So that is what I take away from this. So thanks Sagar, thanks for the audience for joining us on this show today. That's all for today. Bye.
Bye guys.
Bye.